Hey guys, Jared Floyd here with the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. Just wanted to give you a look at the week ahead. And in full disclosure, it is a relatively quiet week ahead, but most of the weather headlines are off to our east in the western Atlantic with tropical systems aplenty. Two, to be exact, that are unfolding this week. Quick check of temperatures as of about 11 o'clock this morning. Most of us are still in the upper 70s to low 80s. It's a very comfortable start to the day, and temperatures across the remainder of the region also quite nice. 84 in Baton Rouge, 82 in Lake Charles, 84 in Jackson, Shreveport, 79 currently in Little Rock. Satellite over the last couple of hours, aside from some high cumulus clouds, and even had some viewers send pictures in of the halo around the sun today. With some of the ice crystals high in the atmosphere from those cirrus clouds moving off to the east. Aside from that, it should be a quiet and beautiful day. Satellite radar does not show much. High pressure at the surface continues to generally rule the forecast, but it's really the upper level pattern which continues with a fairly persistent ridge of high pressure, not overly strong, but persistent as a placeholder in the forecast through much of this week. The temperature outlook over the next 6 to 10 days still shows high confidence of being above average. Now, it should be fair to note that our average highs are falling, so 90, 91 is still above normal for this time of year. The 10 to 14 day outlook or the 8 to 14 day outlook rather, shows very similar results as we go through the early half of the month of October. Temperatures for the first half of next month are likely to be above normal. The precip outlook 6 to 10 days is kind of split across the region, so that's not necessarily the worst news. We could still use and benefit from some additional rainfall, and then the 8 to 14 day outlook kind of gives us equal chances either direction, so something to keep an eye on there. A look at the tropical satellite, and again, this is kind of the bigger weather headline, if you will, for much of the east coast of the United States, although right now it appears unlikely that we're going to see a direct impact or a direct landfall from either one of these tropical systems. Humberto is the one on the far right, the much more organized, the major hurricane, the Category 4 hurricane that is unfolding right now, and then Tropical Depression 9 continues out over the Bahamas. Not overly organized at this point, but we'll take a look at both. First, we start with Humberto. Again, maximum sustained winds at 150 miles per hour. The eye is kind of wobbled from time to time, also undergoing the occasional eye wall replacement cycle, which has expanded the wind field. If you looked at the satellite image, it's a large storm. And it will be an impactful storm as it continues to move off to the west and northwest. We'll get to the reasons why Humberto makes that easterly turn in just a minute, but still expected to become a major hurricane, or to continue as a major hurricane through the next couple of days, kind of brushing the west side of Bermuda. Could still bring some impacts to a certain degree to the United States, but it's really more Tropical Depression 9 that will be the more impactful one there. And Humberto races off to the east rather quickly and becomes post-tropical rather quickly. We'll get to all of that in a minute as well. Now let's go to Tropical Depression 9. And again, these are the 10 o'clock full advisories from the National Hurricane Center. A new one will come out at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Again, eventually expected to become the next named storm. The next named storm on the list would be Imelda. But again, maximum sustained winds at 35 miles per hour, expected to become a tropical storm later today, and then we'll make a sharp right turn or easterly turn, could impact the island of Bermuda as it becomes post-tropical and races off to the east as well. So why the hard east turns from both of these systems? Well, as of right now, you've got both systems being steered, both systems generally being steered by this big ridge of high pressure out over the middle of the Atlantic. There's also a trough of low pressure making its way through portions of the east coast of the United States. So they're both kind of fostering this northwesterly turn and the northerly turn for Humberto and Tropical Depression 9 respectively. But as we go through the next few days, that large circulation associated with Humberto really just kind of erodes away that ridge of high pressure, and you can see that now this ridge, instead of being this really strong dominant force, it starts to get kind of squished a little bit, and so it doesn't have that same dominant steering feature in the environment. And so as it continues to erode that ridge away, or at least kind of push it off to the south and east, both storms start to kind of absorb the steering of that trough of low pressure. That's also what will help them become post-tropical relatively quickly as they race off to the east. So again, as you get deeper into this time of the year, tropical systems can be impacted much more by troughs of low pressure, cold fronts coming off the east coast of the United States. You've just got a lot more moving pieces in the overall pattern as you get into late September, early October versus August and early September, where it's just hot and you have those big ridges of high pressure which are steering everything our direction. So again, no direct U.S. impacts are expected, but still expected to be some systems that need to be monitored over the next couple of days. High temperatures today, mid to upper 80s to near 90 degrees in some spots. Morning lows tomorrow, likely in the low 60s. There will be the potential for some upper 50s here and there. It's still a pretty dry environment across the area. Afternoon highs on Monday return to the upper 80s to low 90s, and expect that overall trend to continue really through most of this week. Upper 60s, mid 60s to start the day on Tuesday, and then afternoon highs back near 90. Wednesday, upper 80s to near 90. Thursday, mid to upper 80s, but we could maybe work some rain chances in on Thursday. Just kind of depends on how the upper level pattern shakes out. Right now, we've kept those rain chances at about 10% for Thursday afternoon. A look at the 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Outdoor Equipment continues to show warm, dry conditions. Above average by a few degrees. Morning lows comfortable in the mid 60s, not necessarily low 70s, which make things kind of humid and uncomfortable across the region, but not a whole lot happening in our area this week. Could work some rain chances in by the end of the weekend, and then next week maybe bring some changes. But overall, after what was an active middle part of the week last week, that cold front moved through, and now we're back to just warm and dry. And we look to round out the month of September and head into October in very similar fashion. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everybody. I will join you first thing tomorrow morning with a look at the forecast and, of course, our tropical systems and anything that may be developing across the area. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank.